Greetings again. This is the third installment of post-SONA analysis. Now we'll focus on the justice cluster. Um, so what was highlighted by the SONA with relation to peace and security functions? I think the key thing that still needs to be dealt with was the gender-based violence and femicide, the resourcing of the strategic plan, introduction of the new laws, increased resources for prosecuting perpetrators, as also support for survivors. State capture and corruption, we'll unpack that, restoration and credibility of SARS, investigation unit in the NPA, as well as dealing with prevention of money laundering and also removal of the grey list from FATF and the digital forensic capacity of the NPA. Crime security, additional 5,000 police for the public order policing, Operation Danella in crime hotspots, success in the infrastructure economic task team, as well as combating cable theft, illegal mining, and also damage to the infrastructure, reducing security incidents on the rail network, and dealing with the issues around those things. So what are the priorities that SONA has identified? All of these matters, I'm not going to repeat it. It's GBV for digital capacity, Anti-Corruption Advisory Council, dealing with the recommendations as outlined by the council to strengthen anti-corruption, protect whistleblowers, and also ensure that we regulate lobbying and prevent undue influence from public reps on the procurement. SAPS, we've already got the 10,000 additional members. We're looking to have additional to that 20,000 to be recruited in the next 2 years. For justice, what are the key measures here? It's the implementation of these recommendations, strengthen anti-corruption agency, whistleblowers protection, deal with the corruption and hold people to account, and also recover all of the stolen money, improve the digital forensic capability, and also support NPA to ensure that they have the capacity to rapidly respond to some of the outstanding cases that is there. Collective efforts around ending gender-based violence. We spoke about the pledge, where men are taking up the pledge, so that's a key thing that we're looking at. We need to monitor the state capture and assess the implementations of this. There's still a lot of room for improvement around the recommendations here. Money laundering, we need to look at how do we deal with this, preventing of the money laundering and taking and removing ourselves from this grey list, from the Financial Action Task Team Force. There's much work to be done to deal with corruption and eradicating it completely. I think for us, this indicates where we are with the progress. The green gives you a sense that what has been achieved. The red indicates nope, not achieved, and progress to rate is the yellow. So the first one is the improving capacity of the NPA and the courts to bring perpetrators to book. This has been a challenge. We've looked at increasing the capacity, appointment of the 26 of the and the 2049 personnel, respectively. We're dealing also with the aspirant prosecutor program, which is really significant. But given the budget constraints, this is a looming challenge. In 2023, the budget of MPA was allocated only 1.3 million over 3 years. And we're looking at the special investigating unit was only allocated 100 million over the 5-year period. The independent directorate has not been established yet. We're awaiting the bill, and it's currently before the NCOP. So that's something that must still be implemented. Ongoing work around the National Advisory Corruption Council. No public feedback on the engagements, and we also not sure where we are with the progress around that. Implementation of the recommendation of state capture work is ongoing. The president did release the second report last year, November. Of the 202 recommendations from the commission, it has been referred for criminal and other investigation and possible prosecution. And as of November last year, only almost 20% of these cases, which is 38 cases, have been prosecuted in 9 separate courts. These cases involve 47 individuals and 21 companies. The remaining 80% of these criminal recommendations are still under investigation. Notably, however, to date, there's only been 2 successful prosecutions. This is a issue concern. The long arm of the justice is taking long, and people's patience is very thin. So it's something that we need to look at. The whistleblower policy framework, there's a review on it. However, no amendments to the legislation has been introduced to date. And civil society has expressed concern around the failure to take forward this recommendation. In terms of the improving our courts in the sexual offense courts and expanding our network of Tutuzela care centers, a budget of 15 million has been allocated over the medium term. Although impact of this and improve accessibility is currently unclear, the plan is to increase these Tutuzela centers from 60, the current, to 68 in this next financial year, and also costing another additional 15 million. We're not sure if that funding will be secured. In the police cluster, crime again and violence against women is still very high, and the committee should do more to deal with combating this violence, domestic violence. To realize this vision, citizens need to walk freely without fear in their neighborhoods, public spaces. Visible policing program needs to be up. While the number of police recruits have increased, the capacity and funding allocation remains too low to meet the demands for policing. The capacity of SAPs need to be accommodated to train new recruits is severely strained. Concerns around Operation Chanela and its financial sustainability and impact to reduce crime is a concern. In terms of a number of arrests, SAPs have been the entry pen for criminal justice system and other correctional departments have to add the value chain that is needed to accommodate those awaiting trials and also sentence offenders. The committee, the police committee, should look at oversight to ensure that the top clearance certificates is sorted out and issued. I mean, we look at what is the resources needs. I think we spoke about all of these and the alignment of this. While SONA is focused on significant 30,000 over 3 years, we need to also look at the cost containment and also the decline of personnel or headcount in the SAPs. I think lastly, the correctional services, some of the areas that we need to focus on is dealing with people with disability in terms of employment, and also making their centers more accessible, training for the LGBTQI community and awareness is ongoing. Employment, youth employment, there's a target for 20% youth employment in the department, prioritizing 461 young people, critical posts. We need to deal with the issues of corruption. State capture report between 1st of April 2020 and 31st of March 2023, there's been DC hearings for about 30 officials for theft, bribe, corruption, and fraud. The department achieved 100% guilty finding in respect of 73 officials for discipline of fraud, corruption, and maladministration. It includes sanctions of dismissal, suspension, final warning, written warning, and that's the allocation of numbers there. In terms of defense, the key oversights for us as members of parliament is regional peacekeeping, our role in DRC Congo, Mozambique, upcoming transfer of deployments in DRC and United Nations to SADC. We need to ensure consideration and oversight for members of parliament. If we use SANDF in various roles to support police, Parliament will be required to oversee whether this defense force is adequately equipped and trained to such functions. Human Rights Commission and expert panel have outlined the July 2024 unrest, and we need to ensure that our role as members of public parliament oversight is improved. Care for our veterans continue. We need to ensure that we provide housing, a rollout of veterans pension, and oversight around these things. Um, the department is expected to deliver 1,444 houses for veterans over the medium-term expenditure framework. The department has consistently underperformed in this area. For example, only 90 houses were built in the last financial year, 2022-2023. The pension referred to in July, the Minister of Defense signed relevant legislation to roll out pensions to qualifying veterans, and this will commence in 2023. Border safeguarding, we are happy to announce that the Border Management Agency has already stopped 100,000 people crossing illegally. The President did not refer to ongoing SANDF deployments to play this role. I assume it would be because the new border authority is playing a bigger role. I hope this helped, and this is the third installment of sectorial briefings on the SONA 2024. Thank you very much.